Right now at noon, what's behind a plan to demolish a number of homes in Fort Scott, Kansas?
And after a few scattered storms this morning, we are hot and muggy this afternoon ahead of more scattered storms this evening. A look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, Miami Public Schools is searching for a new superintendent. We'll see what qualifications are on their list.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, Freeman Health System announces its new president and CEO. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. Tom Keller has served as president and CEO of Ozarks Healthcare in West Plains, Missouri for more than a decade. Before joining Ozarks Healthcare in 2014, Keller served as chief operating officer at St. Anthony Shawnee Hospital in Oklahoma and as CEO of West Valley Hospital and Phoenix Memorial Hospital in the Phoenix area. On December 1st, Keller will take the reins at Freeman from Paula Baker, who announced her retirement earlier this year. Baker has served in the position for 13 years. The Oklahoma State School Board Association held a focus group meeting last night in the search for the next superintendent of Miami Public Schools. The goal for last night's session at the high school was to get community staff members and administrators together to gather vital input about the qualifications they hope to find in a candidate. Among those qualifications, someone who is involved in the community as well as someone who keeps students their #1 priority.
Other challenges that we've faced are just making sure that we can make the most out of our state budgets and looking at enrollments. We need to make sure that our enrollment numbers are going up because our enrollment will tie right back to our financial decisions that we're able to make.
And for those who couldn't attend, the district has an online community survey available on the school's website through October 4th. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we had some scattered showers and thunderstorms earlier this morning. That left us mostly cloudy, even if you didn't get any rain. And you can see that from MoDOT camera this morning at 20th and Rangeline. And from our camera downtown Pittsburgh, clouds out there. A few sprinkles here and there for some locations. Others got some actual rain out there, which was very helpful this morning. As we look at our almanac from yesterday, started at 65, so not where we're supposed to be. Made it up to 92, so 11 degrees above where we're supposed to be and getting closer to records. And as we head through the rest of this week, we could potentially tie or break records today into tomorrow, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Our average high again 81. You can see where we have been nowhere near that, nor are we going to be anywhere near that as we head into the weekend, at least the first half. Now fall starts on Sunday and we do have some changes on the way out there. For the rest of this evening, we'll start to see some isolated storms building in southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma, and these will be scattered, so not everyone will see rain or thunderstorm activity this evening, but some of us will. We'll fall back in the low 80s by 11, and some of these storms could be strong, potentially severe. We're going to go over those details with you in the full forecast, and that's coming up here in just a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, a federal jury convicts a Joplin man and an Arkansas man of kidnapping a woman and holding her in a hotel room in Neosho, Missouri. Now, the jury found both 51-year-old Freddie Tilton of Joplin and 39-year-old Alvin Boyer of Rogers, Arkansas, guilty of kidnapping and conspiracy to commit kidnapping. Authorities says Tilton beat and choked the woman in a room at the Boonslick Lodge in Neosho, rented for Tilton by Boyer. Now, sentencing will come at a later date, and you can read more about the case on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, OSHA, the federal agency that sets and enforces standards for workplace conditions, is pulling back on its plans for new regulations on fire departments. Originally, OSHA planned to make a number of changes, including requiring fire trucks be no more than 15 years old. But the proposal drew concerns from firefighters across the country, as well as some lawmakers concerned about the financial burden it would put on volunteer departments. OSHA now says it's reevaluating the proposed changes. Well, demolition could start soon on a number of homes in Fort Scott after city commissioners gave their approval earlier this month. KOAM's Melissa Alexis explains the project and the reason behind it.
Some of these houses that we tear down I wouldn't want to see anybody live in with children.
6 homes in Fort Scott were submitted to be considered for demolition. Leroy Kruger, the codes technician, says one of the reasons is they're abandoned and bring down the value of the surrounding homes.
If we see a house that's dilapidating, falling in, we send a letter to the homeowner to basically let them know that they need to bring the house up to codes.
But if the house is not brought up to codes, they will continue seeking approval to demolish the house.
It being an eyesore would make a person not want to buy a house in that neighborhood.
Behind me is one of the homes being considered for demolition. He says many of the homes on the list to be demolished are considered unsafe.
The majority of these homes are unlivable and have become flop houses or houses where drugs or other illicit activities take place within those neighborhoods. Needles have been found on the porches, drug paraphernalia scattered across the yards, broken glass.
They hope demolishing these homes will allow room for new businesses and new homes that are safe for residents to live in, as more housing is a need in the Fort Scott community. Reporting in Fort Scott, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Now, owners who oppose the demolition of their home will be given a period of time to repair the building. And if they don't, the city could opt to move forward with the demolition process. The recycling center in Neosho, Missouri is recycling books and not just the pages they're made out of. Over the past few years, the center has created a library for books still in good condition to be taken by anyone who wants them. Diana Howell with the center says people will often come to the center just to pick up books. Howell says this is the center's way of promoting the reuse part of recycling. Well, coming up, if you don't want to vote for a listed candidate this November, we'll break down how write-in voting works. And later, we're making spinach and cheese stromboli in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. With the November election less than 2 months away, voters across the 4 states are looking at who the candidates are. But voters aren't necessarily limited to just who's listed on the ballots. Now, they have the option to write in a candidate for an elected position, whether it be local, state, or national. Now, a write-in candidate is someone voters can put down whose name does not appear on a printed ballot. But in states like Missouri and Kansas, people who want to be considered for a write-in candidate have to pre-register ahead of the election. Now, without it, any votes for them don't count.
So Donald Duck usually doesn't count. Minnie Mouse doesn't count. We have very creative voters sometimes that put those things in. But they might write in a name that hasn't certified, and that would be probably disappointing to them if they didn't understand how that actually worked.
Now, 9 states do not allow write-in candidates, and those states include Oklahoma and Arkansas. Well, Vice President Kamala Harris is getting some high-profile campaign help today from Oprah Winfrey, and former President Donald Trump rallied with supporters in New York. Nicole Killian.
Former President Donald Trump back in deep blue New York, an unlikely battleground.
It's the worst kept secret in America. The battleground state for the House of Representatives is New York.
Several critical down-ballot races that could impact control of Congress, the former president rallied supporters on Long Island Wednesday night.
We are going to win New York.
Security was in force as Trump is now receiving the highest level of protection on par with that of a sitting U.S. president, according to Secret Service. He recounted the latest apparent assassination attempt at his Florida golf course.
Thankfully, our outstanding Secret Service agent, and they are outstanding, spotted the barrel of his rifle in the bushes. Can you believe that?
The former president also heaped praise on the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, claiming he won their endorsement.
I love the Teamsters. We won the overwhelming majority of the local chapters and the members.
But for the first time since 1996, the union did not endorse a presidential candidate, stating that neither Trump nor Vice President Harris provided serious commitments to the group.
It sends a message to both parties that if they truly want to support working people, they have to reevaluate it and understand that nothing is given, it is earned.
In Washington, Harris also courted the Latino vote, addressing the Congressional Hispanic Institute on immigration, as a new poll shows a majority of Americans surveyed support Trump's position to deport migrants.
How's that going to happen? Massive raids? Massive detention camps? What are they talking about?
The vice president campaigns tonight in Michigan, headlining a virtual unity rally with Oprah, while the former president remains here in New York to meet with Jewish Americans in Brooklyn. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Uniondale, New York.
Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Before we get going today, what do you say we start off with a bit of trivia? Let's see if you can get this one right. The question is, it's coming up next.
And we're tracking thunderstorm chances this evening for some of us, and as mentioned, some of those could be strong, possibly severe. Look at that forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So again, some of us saw some scattered showers and thunderstorms this morning. Nothing strong or severe. It did leave a lot of us with mostly cloudy skies. However, as we head into the evening hours, we do have a risk for some strong, potentially severe thunderstorms. So a couple of scenarios that could potentially play out. One is that we get a line of storms, and that's why we do have this elevated wind risk out there, because there's that possibility. Either way, we're looking at some thunderstorms at this point, still looking at scattered storms. So not everybody's going to see rain tonight, and even if you're in an area highlighted for a severe threat, that doesn't mean we're going to see it everywhere. But the storms we do see in these zones could potentially produce some small hail and some gusty winds, especially in the elevated risk area, and that's where we could see some winds 60, potentially 70 miles an hour with these storms this evening. So what are we looking at as we go into the evening hours? First, through the rest of the afternoon, it is hot, it is muggy, it is breezy. South winds about 20 miles an hour out there, gusting to 20 rather. And then as we go into the evening, here we are at 5, couple isolated showers. Once we hit about 6, 7 o'clock, look how quickly some of these storms fire up out there into parts of Kansas and Oklahoma. Once they do, they're going to have that opportunity to become strong to severe, and again with that wind risk out there. As we go through the evening, these storms will push off to the east. Now, by the time they get here, so you've seen the Veda, got some actual little bit darker reds up there. That's why that elevated risk for damaging wind clips into parts of Vernon and Bates County on the Missouri side, and back into parts of Craig, Ottawa, and Craig, Nowata, and Washington counties in Oklahoma, because when those storms first fire up, that's going to be their better opportunity. They will be losing some steam, or expected to be losing steam, as we go later into the night and the scattered storms begin to push off to the east. But we still have the low risk, though, for some gusty winds and small hail. Could have a few isolated showers, maybe a couple of storms holding on till about 2 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll start to clear out there. And Friday, we are looking to be sunny, hot, muggy, temperatures upper 90s tomorrow. Again, those heat index values right up there. Now, this version of the future track is painting the possibility, at least, for maybe a pop-up shower or storm tomorrow evening. I do believe, though, for the most part, we are going to just simply be dry, and we're looking at some cloudy skies out there. Now, on Saturday, we're going to heat up again, but not as warm as tomorrow, low 90s again. We could see some isolated pop-up showers and thunderstorms out there through the day. It won't be until the evening that we'll actually start to see more scattered showers and thunderstorms by Saturday evening. These will again begin in Kansas and Oklahoma, but the expectation is at this point, Saturday night into Sunday, we're looking at more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity. Now, we don't have any areas highlighted for severe weather for Saturday into Sunday. If that changes, of course, we'll let you know. But we're looking at some more widespread thunderstorm development, which also means more meaningful rainfall out there, and we really need some rain. All right, low mid-90s today. Again, scattered storms later this evening across the area. Winds gusting to 20, some strong to severe. Those will continue through the evening hours and, again, be wrapping up about 2 o'clock in the morning. We'll go low mid-70s tonight. As we head into tomorrow, sunny, hot, upper 90s, heat index values near 100, maybe even some lower 100s out there as well. We'll be in the low 90s Saturday. Cold front comes in. Those thunderstorms increase late Saturday into Sunday. For the first day of fall, a little closer to normal. Still above, but a little closer. We'll be in the mid-80s out there. A little cooler by Monday, upper 70s. And then temperatures begin to heat up as we head through the first official week of fall.
Well, stick around. We're making spinach and cheese stromboli in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard is showing us how to make spinach and cheese stromboli in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Before we get going today, what do you say we start off with a bit of trivia? Let's see if you can get this one right. The question is, what is Stromboli? Is it A, an island off the coast of Italy, B, rolled up pizza dough that's stuffed and baked, C, the name of a volcano, or D, all of the above? If you guess D, all of the above, you're right. But since we only have 90 seconds and we aren't a geography or history show, I say we focus on B, the rolled up pizza dough that's stuffed with all sorts of goodness. To make this Italian favorite, all we do is combine some ricotta and mozzarella cheese, a bit of oregano, and a little salt. Once that's mixed, we add some chopped spinach that we sauteed with lots of minced garlic, and we let that cool. This mixture gets spread onto refrigerated pizza dough that we've unrolled and cut into quarters. Now, we roll this up and place it on a baking sheet, seam side down. Once it's baked and the crust is golden, it's ready to serve. And don't forget to warm up some spaghetti sauce for Dunkin' or to spoon over it. To get the recipe for our spinach and cheese stromboli, just visit our website. I know you'll be glad you did. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an unquestionably tasty way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Well, you can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, watching that chance for those scattered thunderstorms this evening, some of which could be strong to severe. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Hot and muggy otherwise today. Hot and muggy again tomorrow. Heat index values today and tomorrow near 100. Cold front Saturday brings us thunderstorm chances late Saturday into Sunday. Mid-80s for the first day of fall. A little cooler Monday, and we'll heat up as we head through the next work week.
Well, it wouldn't be the last few days of August if it wasn't hot and muggy.
That's the truth. The
really
fall
is.
will get here. It's
Yes,
guaranteed.
Absolutely. And what do you have for us tonight, Dal?
Well, lots coming up at 5. For starters, new research is highlighting the link between alcohol and cancer rates. According to the American Association for Cancer Research, excessive alcohol use might be one factor behind an increase in at least 6 types of cancer. Plus, the new Bartlett soybean processing plant in Coffeyville, Kansas hosts their grand opening celebration. We're going to hear about the facility's impact on jobs and economic growth in southeast Kansas. And the Joplin Fire Department receives a grant from Missouri American Water. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's all coming up today. KOAM News at 5.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dal. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Before we go, we'd like to introduce you to students from Neosho County Community College. Have a great rest of your day.